Long ago, Abraham sent his servant Eliezer to find a wife for his son Isaac. He knew God's purpose required a woman of deep faith. But who would be willing to leave their home and travel into the unknown?
This is a dramatization of biblical times, concretely biblical times according to Jehovah's Witnesses. You see, according to them, it's not only totally normal to send a servant to look for a wife he can buy for his son, it's also expected that although all men are normal looking in the dramas, the main women in the dramas are the most conventionally attractive women they can possibly find. Now, I'm not saying that they should have followed the Bible. After all, the Bible specifies that Rebekah was young, and back then, women got married off in their teenage years, so she was probably a young teenager at best, and definitely not a fully developed woman in her 20s. But instead of casting just any woman that can act the part, they tend to cast women that look the part, with the part being the most attractive sister that volunteers to work for free for this cult. And I think it's for a couple of reasons. First of all, this is propaganda. People who are doing what the religion tells them to do are obviously traditionally attractive. Second, it's men who are in charge of casting in this cult. I've always thought that, given the very few chances that Jehovah's Witnesses get to talk and to be with the opposite sex, casting must be a very coveted position. After all, in casting, you have the videos and photos of a whole bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses in good standing. All you need is to figure out who you like the most and then cast them. It's not like they need to be good actors. Nobody in this propaganda is. All they need to do is just to be cast. After all, it's completely normal in this cult to use whatever position of authority you have to get a wife. You hear of ministerial servants asking to be sent to congregations with attractive women to give a Sunday speech and socialize with them. Having a position of authority in the cult is also considered an attractive feature in a potential partner, regardless of whether you are being cast or you're doing the casting. After being a part of this misogynist cult, I would be extremely surprised if nobody from production is hitting on the attractive women that are cast, after having a direct hand on getting them cast in the first place.
Please, give me a little sip of water from your jar.
Drink, my lord. I will also water your camels until they are done drinking. Excuse me, my lord.
Please tell me, whose daughter are you? Is there any room in your father's house for us to spend the night? I will not eat until I have told you what I have to say.
Please, speak.
I am Abraham's servant, and Jehovah has blessed my master very much. Sarah, the wife of my master, bore a son to my master after she grew old. So my master made me swear, saying, "You will go to the house of my father and to my family. You must take a wife for my son." But I said to my master, "What if the woman is unwilling to come?"
This is extremely creepy and overbearing. First of all, the Israelites famously did not use the name of God willy-nilly, going as far as to only using it during worship. That's fine because the name of God is most definitely not Jehovah, but still. Also, why does this cult always portray the poor Israelites living with dirt floors as if they had just taken a shower and put on their new clothes? They lived in the dirt. The creepy guy wanting to buy a wife has been traveling for days now. How are his clothes so clean and fluffy without any wrinkles? Also, can we talk about how creepy it is that this guy just came in, saw a woman that did free labor for men, then invited himself to stay in her house, and now he's revealing that what he was planning all along was to buy their daughter to take her away to be someone's wife, knowing that the woman might not even want to do it? But the Jehovah's Witnesses gloss over the misogyny, women are inferior to men anyway, and extract an even more sinister lesson.
When a young woman comes out to draw water, I will say, "Please, let me drink a little water from your jar." And she will say to me, "You take a drink, and I will also draw water for your camels." Let that woman be the one whom Jehovah has chosen for the son of my master. Before I was finished speaking in my heart, there was Rebekah coming out with her jar on her shoulder. After that, I asked her, "Whose daughter are you?" To which she replied, "The daughter of Bethuel." So I put the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her hands. And now tell me, if you wish to show loyal love and faithfulness to my master. But if not, tell me, that I may proceed one way or the other.
This is from Jehovah.
Let her become a wife to the son of your master, just as Jehovah has spoken.
Yup, she's pretty much cattle with no saying on the matter. That's how women were treated back then, including under the Abrahamic God. But did you catch why they're supposed to agree to sell their daughter to this stranger? Because they think that's what Jehovah wants. This cult is trying to tell you the main point of the story isn't that Rebekah was pretty much bought and sold like a pet. They're pretending that the point of this story is that she did what Jehovah wanted her to do, and so should you. And if that lesson wasn't clear already, they proceed to fill up this drama with their fan fiction.
Why can't you just stay here?
You heard what my father said. This is from Jehovah.
You can serve Jehovah here. That is true. But you know, Jehovah will bless you in ways you can't even imagine. We still have time together. Let's make the most of it.
None of this is in the Bible. Jehovah's Witnesses inject this to pretend like this is why Rebekah agreed to be married off to a stranger, because her strong faith in Jehovah, and not because she had no choice or voice on the matter. And this is how Jehovah's Witnesses want the members to act, like they have no choice but to obey this religion. Rebekah here is supposed to be mirroring the self-sacrificing attitude every single Jehovah's Witness is supposed to have. As long as you're told you're doing it for Jehovah, you must do it without hesitating and with a smile on your face. Let's instead see how we can debunk that pesky evolution theory.
When you believe in creation, what challenges might you face?
My favorite subject was science, because I learned facts about how things are connected. I thought that was really exciting, seeing how the physical world works. But then you come to a topic like evolution, and you immediately know that there's something here that's not quite right.
In 5th grade, when I was around 12, we had science, my worst subject. The teacher was fully convinced that we descended from apes and that the evolution theory is the truth.
You realize that you're probably the only one in that room thinking this is not true. Then you might start questioning yourself. Is the teacher wrong? Or have I maybe believed something wrong my whole life?
This is surprisingly outspoken for Jehovah's Witnesses. You see, when they used to sell books, they published several on how and why evolution was wrong, with multiple apologetics, out of context quotes, and much more. That way, when you inevitably wonder whether it made sense that the whole world was wrong except you could simply read the books and learn the apologetics, or at least rest assured knowing that the answers were in a book that you pretend to read already. Nowadays, however, they don't publish books no more. So how did they educate Jehovah's Witnesses on the apologetics and all the reasons to not believe in evolution and believe in creationism instead?
I spent a lot of time on the bus to and from school reading jw.org and the 5 Questions brochure. Actually, to make up my mind on what I believe in.
I did a lot of research when I got home that evening, and my parents helped me search on our website. And what helped me the most was the video, What Your Peers Say, Belief in God. I remember one small scene that stuck with me. It was a glass bottle that was pulled up from the sand. Yes, it's made of the same material, but it definitely didn't form by itself. There has to be someone that turns it into a glass bottle. And I found that very logical. It really convinced me that there is a creator.
Yep, the only way to keep Jehovah's Witnesses indoctrinated is by redirecting them to jw.org so they learn what they're supposed to believe in. And while you might find some apologetics that have been debunked for decades there, what you'll mainly find are videos telling you, hey, you might believe things that others don't, and that's okay. You keep believing and stay in the cult. Long gone are the large books with complex apologetics and detailed drawings to pretend they knew what they were talking about. Now, you should be a Jehovah's Witness because that's just who you should be, okay? Stop asking questions.
How does having faith in a loving creator help you?
It makes everything more meaningful. You're not thinking, here I am, I'll just live the way I do till I die, and that's it. You believe that there is a purpose to life, and it also opens the possibility of a hope for the future.
But you do live like that when you're a Jehovah's Witness. When you're in a cult, you no longer live for yourself. You live for the cult with the promise that you'll either be spared during Armageddon and get to paradise, or wake up there after you die. In this specific cult, not all the cults believe in Armageddon. There's no other reason for you to do the right thing. It's all self-preservation and serving the cult. And that is one of the most meaningless lives you can possibly have. The only way you can find happiness from that is if you gaslight yourself into thinking you're happy already. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to watch the rest of this JW broadcast analysis, you can become a supporter like these guys right here who can already watch the full analysis, or you can hit the subscribe button and the bell button to get notified as soon as the next part is released here on YouTube.